This morning, we're live to the city of Charlotte in North Carolina, where our reporter Annalise Nielsen is following every development. Annalise, good morning to you. Good afternoon where you are. There is a larger presence on the ground in Charlotte than we saw for the Democratic convention in Milwaukee.
There's a larger presence in that there's more people on the ground, but the security is remarkably, I would say, less stringent. They do have the barricades, as you can see behind me, and plenty of police stationed around the city, and there has been a strong presence of protesters as well this morning, mirroring Milwaukee, but they've had people actually attending in person for some of those formalities, and so that's been a marked difference. But we've also had an appearance already from President Donald Trump after he was formally confirmed as the Republican nominee. It was all but a certainty given he is a sitting president, but the ceremony is important in an election campaign. And unlike the previous promises that he wouldn't be looking to go negative after Joe Biden said that he'd brought darkness on America, he came in with some very strong comments about, in particular, mail-in voting.
We have to win. This is the most important election in the history of our country. This is the most, for a long period of time, our country is counting on it. This is the biggest. This is it. Our country can go in a horrible, horrible direction or in an even greater direction.
Now, this is at the same time the Postmaster General is facing Congress, where he's been having a grilling over many issues. But, of course, the focus of the Democrats in particular is about whether they do need more funding to reinstate some services that have been being wound back before the election, but they say it's going to be a key issue with those mail-in votings. So the Postmaster General DeJoy has said that he's confident that what they're doing won't impact democracy.
This sacred duty is my #1 priority between now and Election Day. To be clear, we will do everything we can to handle and deliver election mail in a manner consistent with the proven processes and procedures that we have relied upon for years. Nevertheless, I encourage all Americans who choose to vote by mail to request their ballots early and to vote early as a common-sense best practice.
And Annalise, have we heard from Joe Biden yet today?
Joe Biden's been laying pretty low since the Democratic convention, but he has put a statement on Twitter about this case in Wisconsin in a town called Kenosha, where there was a police shooting. They shot an unarmed black man who had his children in the back seat of his car. He was shot a number of times in his back, and so that's already prompted a number of riots in the town. The National Guard's been sent in. Joe Biden took to Twitter to say, yesterday Jacob Blake was shot 7 times in the back by police. His kids watched from the car. Today we woke to grieve yet again. We need a full and transparent investigation. Now, Donald Trump is set to speak for each night of the convention in some form or another. The big speech, though, will be Thursday night. He's just wanting to make sure his presence is felt here. The other speakers today include Nikki Haley, the former US ambassador to the United Nations, Mark and Patricia McCloskey, who famously held up guns when Black Lives Matter protesters rallied outside their home. And, of course, we're going to hear from Donald Trump Jr.